Steve, I know you've named your team for the upcoming triple header, but firstly on your new contract, how pleased are you to get that tied down?
Yeah, it's nice. Obviously, it's nice when your bosses think you've done a decent job and they give you a little extension. So it was nice to get that one put away. I think the little taste that we all got of the European Championships in the summer has made everybody a little bit excited for more. So hopefully we can deliver.
Was it an easy decision for you in the place you are in your career and your life, etc.?
Yeah, it was relatively straightforward. Took me a little while to get to grips with the different aspect of the national job, but recently I've enjoyed it. If it's ever possible to enjoy the job, I've enjoyed it. It's a good challenge. It takes me out of my comfort zone a little bit at times, which is good. I like to challenge myself, and like I said, hopefully we can get more success.
So you're still here, but the likes of Stephen Reid and Stephen Woods have left, and Austin McPhee and Chris Woods comes in. Talk us through the situation there and how difficult or easy it was to replace them.
I think the first thing is for me is to pay tribute to Stephen and Stevie Woods, who were a big part of my team right from the first minute I came into the job. And then you've got to realise that both of them are working full time at clubs, so working all the time, especially in Stephen Reid's case. He's working in Nottingham, his family live in London. He was coming away every international break. So I knew pretty early on after the Euros that Stephen was going to leave. So from there I've been looking around, trying to get the right person. I think in Austin I've got somebody who's different to Stephen. He's going to bring a different dynamic to the squad. And he's also got a good record and a good reputation in an area where I think we can improve a little bit, which is set plays for and against. So hopefully we can work on that and do better. Stevie Woods is similar. He's full-time with Celtic, working all the time. These international breaks, he's not getting a lot of time with his family. And Stevie decided only a couple of weeks ago that it was the right time for him to step aside. So I looked out my contacts and managed to track down Chris. Chris Woods is someone who I haven't worked with before. So I look forward to working with Chris. I've met him a couple of times. Good lad. Quite important. He knows the Scottish scene. He knows the little peculiarities of Scottish football. He understands it. I believe he did his coaching badges up here as well. So he's looking forward to it. And I think the goalkeepers will enjoy working with Chris.
Yeah, just on that, the goalkeepers is the biggest area of change in your squad that you've named today. Talk us through the thinking behind the two dropping out and the two coming in.
And obviously David Marshall, who was my number one, has had a tough time at Derby. He's found himself as the number 3 goalkeeper. Don't want to comment too much on the politics or whatever of that decision. I've spoken to David. He's disappointed not to be involved, but he fully understands why he's not involved in this camp. Listen, if he gets himself a move before the end of the transfer window, or if he gets back involved with Derby County, David would be straight back into my thoughts, no doubt about that. And John's got a little issue at Rangers, and Rangers told us he wasn't available, so John misses out as well. But it's a great chance for Liam and Xander to step up and impress the new goalkeeping coach.
In terms of John McLaughlin having an issue, is that something that was unexpected, or can you know that? Because he's been consistently in your squad.
Always in the squad. He's actually played a few games this year as well. I saw him play at Tannadice, which is good. I think John's expecting to play a few more games this season, so hopefully he's back playing quickly, and again, when John's fit and available, then he would be at the front of my mind for selection.
Will that be good for you as well to take a look at a couple of guys that are in their 20s in the sort of goalkeeping region with a look to the future? Yeah,
I think, like I said before, it's a good chance for Chris to have a look at 2 younger goalkeepers, not very young, but younger than the ones that we've had recently. I've always said that I'm happy with the coaching team, or the goalkeeping coaching team with Stevie Woods and the 3 senior boys. So Chris comes in and it's like a new change, so it's something different and something that we're looking forward to seeing on the training pitch and maybe in the matches too.
Lewis Ferguson with a call-up as well, what do you think he can add to the squad?
I like Lewis. I've always liked Lewis. I've kept an eye on his progress. I think he's always done very well with Aberdeen. When I was commandant manager, we rarely beat Aberdeen. They always seem to have a little hoodie over us, and Lewis was a big part of that. I like what he gives box to box. He can do the defensive part. Strong boy. I actually spoke to Lewis in the summer a little bit about keeping fit just in case we got some injuries or COVID issues during the tournament. Asked him to keep fit. So he's someone I've been thinking about for a little while. And obviously with Scott McTominay missing out, it was a chance to put Lewis in.
A bit of a relief as well. I know there was doubts over possibly Andy Robertson and Kieran Tierney with their fitness. It must be great that they're both available.
Yeah, good. Obviously spoke to both of them quite soon after they had their injury issues, and both assured me that they'll be fine.
Steve, when you were speaking earlier about your new contract, you said the job takes you out your comfort zone at times. In what way?
Well, I'm not on the pitch coaching as much. You haven't got the day-to-day involvement with the players. You're borrowing a group of players and trying to mould them into hopefully a successful squad and a successful team. So just a different job.
How would you assess qualification chances now we're looking towards these qualifiers?
Yeah, I think we've got a chance. Obviously a big week for us. Denmark away, Moldova at home, Austria away. It's two really tough away games. The home fixture in between, we have to look to get the 3 points, and then we have to get points from the other games that give us a realistic chance of qualifying from the section. So that's what we'll do.
How many points do you think we need from the...
I've got no idea.
Steve, it's the first time we've spoken to you.
9 would be nice.
It's the first time we've spoken to you for a few months since the European Championships. What's your main feeling, your main emotion looking back at what happened over the summer?
Yeah, I think pride. I think pride for the country that we were back involved in a major tournament. I think pride for the players that went out there and acquitted themselves well in the tournament, attacked every game, played on the front foot. We didn't get the football breaks, and sometimes that happens. So we didn't get the points that we felt we deserved. But we take that on the chin, we'll learn our lessons. I think we'll be better for it. Having been together for the best part of 4 weeks, I think we'll improve for the experience of the tournament, and hopefully you see that in the coming matches.
Yeah, is that what you expect? You know, what kind of... Is it the camaraderie, just getting to know each other, being so close for the 4 or 5 weeks? Is that what you think can benefit you most going forward to this next camp and over the next few years?
Not so much the camaraderie. I think it's just becoming more comfortable with each other. Like I say, you only borrow these players, you only bring them in for a short period of time. You don't get that much training time. So over the course of the preparation for the tournament plus the tournament itself, you get a little bit more time on the pitch to coach the players and work with the players. And hopefully, like I said before, you'll see the benefit of that in future games.
Just finally for me, on the defence, I don't think anyone's coming in and out the 10 defenders from the European Championships. There have been a few people, obviously, on social media suggesting players. Were there any that were close, like Anthony Ralston or maybe John Souttar coming back up to the top flight with Hearts?
Yeah, great to see Big John back and doing well for Hearts. I think for John is a case of letting him settle in, get a run of matches and keep improving on his game and his fitness. I like John. I like him as a player, and I like him as a person. Tony Ralston's come into the Celtic team and done great. He's one of the ones that's really benefited from the new style of playing for Celtic, the way they're playing. But I think for Tony Ralston, it's a case of continuing that and seeing if he can keep in the team or stay in the team for a prolonged period of time.
Steve, what do you feel looking at the 3 matches in the Euros? Yes, the results all didn't go the way you wanted, but you were in all 3 games. What do you think the team needs to add going forward?
Probably a little bit of tournament nous would help. A little bit of composure in the final third. Obviously, we created quite a lot of chances in the tournament. Only managed to score 1 goal, which is probably the most disappointing aspect of it. We also conceded some goals that I think we could have defended better. So we can work on aspects at both ends of the pitch. But I think, like you said, I think we were competitive in all the matches. Disappointing that we couldn't get the points that would maybe have created a little bit of history, but we have to take that on the chin and move on. So there's no point in dwelling on it too much. Let's try and take the benefits from the tournament and use them in the future.
When you look back, that takes you through to 2024. Is this a job where you can plan long term, or is it because of the nature of it, you only get the players for short bursts? Can you only deal with the challenge in front of you?
Well, I'd like to think if you look at the turnover in players, even in the 2 years that I've been in the job, there's a lot of players that have been in the squads and have dropped out and fallen by the wayside. That's not the right term, but fallen out of favour, if you like, haven't been picked. But it's one of those jobs that you have to try and do it slowly. I think you're always trying to improve. I think, it's just my opinion, I think the squad now is much improved from the squad 2 years ago. Now that's been by a process of having players in the squad, looking at them, seeing what they can do for you, seeing what they can't do for you, adding one or two players at the right time. And I think we've done that, and we've built a decent squad. You mentioned we haven't changed many defenders, which we haven't. We haven't changed many midfield players either, or forwards. So we have a nucleus of players that we keep trying to bring back. And we're also drip feeding some of the younger ones in as well, which should help the future. So yeah, there is an element of forward planning, but obviously the next tournament or the next game is the most important thing.
When you look back at the tournament from your own point of view, are there any things you would have changed that you're going to bring into bearing in the World Cup qualifiers?
I think you always look at your own performance. You always analyse what you've done yourself. Could I have done things better? Yeah, of course. If I'd done things better, maybe we would have got the results. If the players had done things better, maybe we would have got the results. So you're always looking and analysing. What can we look at going forward? I think just continuity and the same players getting more international experience, the more they play at a high level. If you take the tournament itself, probably our best performance was against the most difficult opponent, which in a way is pleasing because in recent years that hasn't been the case. We've been brushed aside by the pot one teams, the better teams, if you like. So that was nice. But I feel we expended a lot of energy in that game and we suffered for it in the third game. So things to learn. Maybe from my own point of view is maybe utilise the squad a little bit more over a short period of time, 3 games in 7 days.
And perversely, it also emphasised how dangerous Denmark are.
Yeah, they're not bad. Good team. No, they had a great tournament. Obviously a very difficult start for them, and they did well to react and finished the tournament really well and pushed England all the way in the semi-final.
Steve, can I check just how long were the contract talks going on for?
Yeah, long enough. Long enough. Listen, it was relatively straightforward. It wasn't contract talks as such. It was just, did I want to extend? Did my bosses want to extend the contract for me? And basically it was pretty straightforward.
I'm just thinking, is this the next 3 games coming up? Is this where you're going to try and see if you can get Nathan Patterson or David Turnbull into the team, or do they still have to bide their time?
Everybody's in the squad on their merits. We'll see how everybody turns up fitness-wise. There's been quite a lot of COVID outbreaks recently and across the football, so we have to wait and see what we've got. There's still some games midweek. Some players have midweek games. There's the European games midweek for the Scottish boys. The English boys have got League Cup games. And then there's a full fixture programme at the weekend, which unfortunately we have a lot of players involved on the Sunday, and we play on the Wednesday night. So it's going to be quite a stressful weekend for me, I think, waiting to see who's fit and who's not.
Will Nathan have to get into the Rangers team to be a serious contender to get into your team?
Listen, it helps everybody if they're playing regularly. When you've got a younger player like Nathan, he probably doesn't have to play week in, week out, but it's nice that he got the game against Dunfermline. It would be nice if he can get minutes in the 2 games coming up before we meet up as a squad. It would certainly help.
Last couple, please. How close was Scott McTominay, Steve?
Nah, not really. Scott's he's had an ongoing issue for a little while, and I think Manchester United and the player have decided that they have to get it fixed.
Is that a big blow given that in the Euros you used them both in midfield and defence?
It is, but I've got 5 central defenders in the squad now, and Kieran Tierney, who I use as a central defender as well. So we have good cover there, and obviously the midfield have brought Lewis Ferguson in, so the cover in midfield is decent as well. But it's a blow to lose a player of Scott's quality.
What is the issue, you know?
I think it's always better. I always pass that one to the club. If the club haven't released anything about Scott, then I'll leave that to Manchester United.